Two countries, two visions, one race for the future. On the shores of the Mediterranean and deep along the Nile, Morocco and Egypt are rewriting what mega projects mean for Africa and perhaps for the entire world. Morocco bets on inclusion, sustainability, and smart integration, ultra-connected ports, green energy from the desert sun, and high-speed trains weaving the nation into a continental hub. Egypt, in contrast, pushes for gigantism and monumental scale, entire new capitals rising in the desert, nuclear power plants shaping its energy destiny, and massive highways and canals reinforcing central power. It's a clash not just of infrastructures but of development models. Who is building smarter? The nation of controlled sustainability or the land of grand ambition? Stay until the very end, because only if you subscribe will you hear the answer to the question everyone is asking. Which country will win the mega project battle for the future? Morocco's vision, inclusion and sustainability. When Morocco builds, it doesn't just build for itself, it builds to connect. At the heart of this strategy is Tangier Med, a port that has risen to become one of the most connected shipping hubs on the planet. In less than 2 decades, it has overtaken historical rivals in the Mediterranean, linking Africa directly to over 180 ports worldwide. Tanger Med is not just a dockyard, it's a statement. Morocco wants to be the gateway between Africa, Europe, and beyond. The second pillar of Morocco's vision is speed, literally. The Al Barak high-speed rail line, stretching between Tangier and Casablanca, is Africa's first bullet train. Built in partnership with France, it slashes travel times and positions Morocco as a pioneer in modern transportation. While other nations still dream of futuristic trains, Morocco already runs them. It's a symbolic reminder that the country isn't just catching up, it's setting the pace. But perhaps Morocco's boldest play lies in the desert. The Noor Solar Complex in Ouarzazate, one of the largest solar power plants in the world, turns barren sand into an energy superpower. Spread across vast desert plains, it uses concentrated solar power, CSP technology, to generate electricity even after sunset. For Morocco, it's not just about clean energy, it's about independence. The nation imports over 90% of its energy needs, and Noor flips the equation, making the desert a weapon of sustainability and sovereignty. Underlying all of this is Morocco's approach to financing and partnerships. Unlike states that plunge into uncontrollable debt, Morocco has pursued a path of smart growth. By carefully balancing external partnerships with the European Union, Gulf investors, and African allies, it spreads risk while pulling in expertise and capital. This strategy of moderate debt and inclusion ensures that Morocco builds with stability, not just spectacle. In essence, Morocco's mega projects reflect a philosophy: integration, sustainability, and pragmatism. Ports that connect continents, trains that redefine mobility, solar plants that harness the desert's fire, all aligned with a vision of controlled expansion. It's not the loudest model, but it might just prove to be the most enduring. Egypt's vision: gigantism and centralization. If Morocco's development strategy is about connection and moderation, Egypt's path is about scale, spectacle, and power. Few places embody this more than the new administrative capital, a colossal city rising from the desert east of Cairo, designed to host millions of residents, ministries, embassies, and Africa's tallest skyscraper. It is Egypt's attempt to reinvent its political and economic heart. To supporters, it is a bold solution to Cairo's overcrowding. To critics, it is a glittering showcase that risks draining resources from where they are most needed. Either way, it symbolizes Egypt's embrace of gigantism as national policy. Energy is another arena where Egypt bets big. The Dabaa nuclear power plant, built in cooperation with Russia, represents a push for energy independence and technological prestige. Nuclear power promises stable output in a nation where energy demand grows relentlessly. But it also carries enormous costs, geopolitical strings, and safety concerns. Is Dabaa a strategic investment in long-term stability, or a financial burden in disguise? Egypt's appetite for mega projects doesn't end there. The Suez Canal expansion, completed in 2015, was celebrated with fireworks and military parades. By widening and duplicating sections of the canal, Egypt sought to double shipping capacity and cement its role as a global trade superhighway. While the expansion showcased national pride, revenues have not always matched the lofty projections. Yet the Suez remains central to Egypt's strategy, a symbol of global indispensability and a magnet for foreign currency. What ties these projects together is the heavy hand of the state. The Egyptian government, backed by the military establishment, controls the planning, funding, and execution of these colossal undertakings. This centralization ensures rapid progress but comes at a price: soaring debt. Billions are borrowed to fuel the dream, creating questions about sustainability. Can Egypt's economy withstand the weight of its own ambition, or is it gambling on growth that may not materialize fast enough? Egypt's vision is not about subtle integration. It's about making a statement, whether through glittering skyscrapers, nuclear reactors, or a canal expansion celebrated as a national rebirth. The strategy projects authority and grandeur. It's a development model where power is concentrated, debt is tolerated, and size itself becomes the message. Comparison. When Morocco and Egypt are placed side by side, their strategies reveal two very different ways of building the future. Both nations dream of becoming Africa's undisputed hub, but their paths couldn't be more different. Start with trade. Morocco's Tangier Med Port is built on efficiency. It is one of the world's most connected maritime hubs designed for speed, reliability, and integration into global supply chains. Every container that moves through its terminals adds to Morocco's reputation as a logistics powerhouse. Egypt, by contrast, leans on history and prestige. The Suez Canal is already a vital artery of world trade, handling nearly 12% of global shipping. Its recent expansion was as much about symbolism as function, a showcase of Egypt's centrality to global commerce. In short, Morocco builds new efficiency, while Egypt magnifies its existing prestige. Next, energy. Morocco shines with solar power, turning deserts into green engines of sustainability. Projects like Noor Ouarzazate show how renewable energy can secure independence and attract foreign investment. Egypt, meanwhile, bets on nuclear energy through the Dabaa plant. Nuclear offers long-term stability but comes with political risks, massive costs, and long lead times. The contrast is clear. Morocco positions itself as a green pioneer, while Egypt holds on to traditional centralized power sources. Then comes the question of money. Morocco's model emphasizes controlled debt. By spreading financing across European, Gulf, and African partners, it avoids explosive borrowing while ensuring steady progress. Egypt, however, has embraced risky debt growth, financing monumental projects with billions in loans. This fuels rapid development but raises alarms about sustainability. Will Egypt's gamble on grandeur collapse under financial strain, or will it pay off with unmatched influence? Ultimately, the battle is philosophical. Efficiency versus prestige, green versus traditional, moderation versus risk. Morocco's path may seem quieter, but it builds resilience and long-term integration. Egypt's approach dazzles with speed and size, but it teeters on financial and political fragility. So which vision is more future-proof? The answer depends on what the future demands. If the global economy rewards sustainability and regional cooperation, Morocco's steady hand may win. But if raw scale, visibility, and centralized control dominate, Egypt's gamble might just pay off. The duel remains open, and the outcome could shape Africa's destiny. Conclusion. Two nations, two models, two futures. When we step back from the details, Morocco and Egypt reveal not just different strategies, but different identities in how they imagine tomorrow. Morocco focuses on inclusion, sustainability, and balance. It builds ports that connect, trains that integrate, and solar plants that empower. Its model is steady, calculated, and anchored in controlled debt. Every project is meant to strengthen the network, Africa to Europe, desert to energy, region to region. Egypt, on the other hand, thrives on gigantism, speed, and spectacle. Entire cities rise in the desert, nuclear reactors promise power and prestige, and canal expansions are celebrated as national rebirths. Its model is centralized, debt-heavy, and unapologetically ambitious. Where Morocco whispers strategy, Egypt shouts ambition. Both approaches carry weight. Morocco's strategy is admired for being future-proof and resilient, a model that could inspire other African nations aiming to combine green energy with sustainable growth. Egypt's strategy, however, commands attention. A model of raw scale and visibility, reminding the world that Africa is not just catching up, but can also dominate global headlines. But what about the cost? Morocco's megaprojects such as Tanger Med, Al-Barak, and Noor Ouarzazate amount to tens of billions of dollars, but spread carefully over decades with international partners sharing the risk. Egypt's ventures, its new capital, Dabaa nuclear plant, and the Suez Canal expansion carry hundreds of billions in commitments, much of it financed through borrowing. Morocco's growth feels sustainable. Egypt's a gamble with enormous stakes. The signal to Africa and the wider world is clear. There is no single blueprint for development. One country proves that integration and green pragmatism can carve out a lasting place in global trade. The other demonstrates that scale and spectacle can shift geopolitics almost overnight. Both will influence how emerging nations choose to build in the decades ahead. So the question remains, inclusion or gigantism? Which vision will truly shape the future of Africa's rise? One thing is certain. The mega project race is just beginning. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Morocco versus Egypt, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to stay with us on this journey. And tell us, if you had the power to choose, which future would you build?